Hi, everyone, and welcome to the special simulcast, the Neil Haley Show and the Strategic Wealth Strategy Celebrity Podcast. I'm first excited to welcome my host, Alan Porter. Alan, how are you? And I'm excited about our guest, aren't you?
You betcha. This is the story that she's starred in is amazing.
Yeah,
Simply amazing.
yeah, absolutely. So Brooklynn Prince joins the show. I had Dean on, Israelite, on my show weeks ago and got to preview the film, and it's unbelievable. Such a great story. And I know Alan has a lot of great questions, but Brooklynn, you did a tremendous job with this story.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to be happy. You're on your way as a star is definitely born. I loved you in Cocaine Bear as well. But go ahead.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Go down with your first question.
Well, Brooklyn, tell us about the premise of the story and your character.
Well, the premise of the story is it's about a 13-year-old girl who is her life as a 13-year-old is kind of unraveling in front of her. Her parents just got a divorce and she's losing her house, the only house she's ever known, and her brother doesn't talk anymore. And she is kind of struggling with this and just turning 13. And she gets two young racing pigeons. And kind of through getting these young racing pigeons and having a mentor that is someone named Brian Cox, wink, wink, she kind of discovers herself through pigeon racing and what it's like to be a 13-year-old girl.
Now, Brooklyn, like I said, I learned so much more about pigeons from that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I think that you're almost same as your character in Cocaine Bear, that you really don't listen to your parents.
Yeah. Well, in real life, it's a lot better than the characters I play. Maybe not, but no, definitely that is a common theme that I am not proud of, and I promise you, I am not like my characters in that sense. My parents love me.
Go ahead, Alan.
Well, Brooklyn, how did you prepare for that role?
Well, I listen to music a lot. Like, Caitlin likes punk rock, like the 90s punk rock. So I just made a playlist called Caitlin's Playlist and just listened to it with my mom in like the van before we were going to set. And it kind of served as a transition between Brooklyn to Caitlin. And music is something really powerful for me. It holds a lot of emotion and a lot of power. And so I was really into music to get into Caitlin.
And you think about the pigeons and you think about that. Now I want to race pigeons after watching this. I didn't think it was that easy. It's a lot easier than you think about it. And, when I think about pigeons, I was talking to Dean about this as well. I said, Dean, I think of just different things like The Matrix or John Wick or other things where they show the stories of pigeons or other movies where it's always about the homeless. And ultimately, it's not with this history of pigeons, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, pigeons are, you brought up a good one, The Matrix. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. But yeah, I mean, pigeons, you never really think about them in movies. They're kind of just like a background until like, I read this and it was like, oh, this is a movie about pigeon racing. And I was kind of like, is this a made up sport? I don't know. I was just kind of like, there's no way this is a real sport because pigeons are ugly and gross. And then I was like, wait. And so then I got on set and I was like, I'm so sorry for calling you ugly and gross pigeons. You guys are so smart. And then I went home and I was like, Mom, can I get a pigeon? And she was like, maybe not.
Go down.
I got the last question for you. What did you learn about pigeons that you did not know before?
Well, I learned that the pigeons don't get bird flu. It's weird, but they're the only bird who like doesn't get bird flu. They also are super smart. They can bond to a person that they really love. And so the birds, like some of the birds even knew me. And then like when they would take them out of the cage, they would come and fly to me and like sit on my head. And I was like, oh, they love me. And also my co-star, Jay Jafari, he likes to throw in a very disturbing fact about pigeons, which I don't think is cool, but he loves to throw this in interviews. So in honor of him, here I go. Birds are the only pigeons are the only birds that produce milk. So
okay, so you're going deep on this. I didn't think that question would be that so deep. Come on now. I'm just thinking I'm just thinking about when have you gone and researched where there are pigeon races across the country? I think that Little Wing is now going to get people to be intrigued by this and maybe try this, especially this would be a great school activity for schools based on the movie, I think.
Yeah, I honestly, South Africa, because Dean's family has a lot of history in pigeon racing. South Africa, I think, is really popular for pigeon racing. But I think you can do it anywhere as long as you have a center where they do pigeon racing. So I guess I wouldn't know too much, but if you wanted to get into pigeon racing, maybe look up where they would have like a center for pigeon racing. But I saw a pigeon in my neighborhood with like a band on its leg, and it was a homing pigeon. So a homing pigeon just came through my neighborhood, which I was kind of like, oh, kind of ironic after Little Wing. But it had like a band. So if you put a band on its leg, it will fly to like, if you bring it to a center, it'll fly back to your home. So it really doesn't matter how far it is. Yeah,
this is so intriguing, and check out Little Wing on Paramount Plus.
Yes, please.
What has the feedback been from it since it's been released? Because it's been released a couple weeks. What have you gotten feedback from it?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's liked it. I try not to like go into like all the reviews and stuff, because when a movie comes out, I really like to just like stay away from that stuff. But I think everyone's liked it. Everyone that I've like watched with, they've cried like 3 times. I've gotten texts and messages on Instagram, just like, I didn't know I needed tissues. People have said that Caitlin is unlikable and moody. But I really think that she's just a 13-year-old. I mean, to adults, I guess that's what a kid with depression would look like, right?
No,
is
totally.
someone who's unlikable and moody.
And so, it's great to look at the whole. Yeah, I was going to say it's great to look at the discussion about suicide in this film. Discussions, a lot of good conversations are done, and it was great. It was just a great performance. I'm going to just finish up this interview saying, look out for bears and pigeons now. Look out for bears and pigeons. What's next? What animal's next for you, Brooklyn?
There's a cat in my new comic book.
Okay.
I just released a comic book called Misfortune's Eyes, and it came out on March 20th. So I'm really happy about that.
All right, Brooklyn, thanks again for stopping by, and it was a lot of fun.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Care. Check out Little Wing, now available on Paramount Plus. I recommend it for sure. Thanks, Brooklyn.
Thanks, Brooklyn.
That was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Strategic Wealth Strategies All-Star Podcast, guys. Take care.